Rob Rossi, Trib Sports columnist here. Jerry DiPaola, Bob Cohn are my guests. They, of course, are the reporters for the Tribune Review. We've been covering Pitt, Penn State, a 42-39 win for the Panthers in the rivalry's renewal. Jerry, when you think about this game, when you think about the way Pitt was able to sort of get out in that start, what jumps out at you?
Well, I think we were going to talk last week about how Pitt maybe held some things back with their play calling. I think what happened was they maybe held some things back a little bit in their effort last week, because this week they came out, they played harder, they played with more of a focus, more of a purpose, and they got off to the big start. Without that big start, this game is a loss.
And Bob, one of the things that struck me about the Penn State game was you could really tell defensively they were having a hard time with what Pitt was doing, and it looked schematically like they did not know how to adjust to that early on.
Yeah, Rob, Penn State was absolutely confused on defense, and they said as much, especially with Pitt running the ball, which they did most of the game, in fact. They ran up the middle, they ran wide, they ran jet sweeps, they did all kinds of things that Penn State admitted they hadn't seen. In other words, they were saying they were unprepared. Now, when a team like Pitt plays it close to the vest, goes conservative in the first game, when their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, in previous other stops, James Franklin noted, hadn't shown the things they were showing, I can understand why they'd have trouble. They said they eventually adjusted to it. It took them too long to adjust. They fell into too big of a hole, and that's why they lost.
Absolutely. And, this is the first time in 16 years these teams played. Everybody wants to see the rivalry continue full-time going forward. We're going to have to wait a while for that. Jerry, where does the Pitt program go this season from here?
Well, this is a win they can build on, but every guy in the locker room, I asked them, does this turn the page, all the adversity they had before? And a lot of them said, well, let's see what happens as we going forward. There's a lot of football left this season. Got Oklahoma State next week, a big ACC game the week after that. This is the launching pad. There's a lot of work to do, and boy, Rob, they better clean up that defense, especially the passing game defense.
Bob, Penn State, is Jeff Franklin in trouble now going forward?
Year three, third year for coaches when they take over a program in trouble is usually a good season for them. Penn State obviously has had problems that other schools haven't. We haven't seen too much progress in 2 seasons plus 2 games, and I think the fan base, which was pretty riled up last year, is not going to be really happy today with this game. As close as it was a blowout for a while. I think Trace McSorley, the new quarterback they're breaking in, showed a lot of promise, and he certainly showed a lot of, he was calm, he was cool. He made some mistakes early, but he brought him back, so that's good. Saquon Barkley, what can you say? He has big numbers except touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. We know he can play. The offensive line is still shaky, and the defense has some questions, especially about the middle linebacker, Jason Binder.
Well, look, hey, both of these schools got football programs that have a lot of history. Both of them have football programs right now that need wins in their next game to stem the tide or to keep things going. For Jerry DiPaola and Bob Cohn and your photographer and videographer, Chaz Pala, I'm Rob Rossi. Check us out, triblive.com. We're Trib Sports, and we're out.